To think this all started with one of the most ridiculed movie trailers of all time. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 sees the return of Ben Schwartz as the voice of the speed of sound running blue blur. Sonic is still living a good life with Tom and Maddie, as well as his new sidekicks, Tails and Knuckles, until they're called on by Gun to help defeat a new adversary, a black hedgehog named Shadow who escaped from 50 years of confinement. Allied with Dr. Ivo Robotnik, as well as his 110-year-old grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, Shadow is bent on getting his revenge on Gun, and quite possibly destroying the world in the process. So now the gloves are off. Even though that's really not true at all, much like Mickey Mouse, the gloves are never off. It's been clear, ever since the decision was made to redesign Sonic after that first trailer, that Jeff Fowler, the director of all these movies, really loves the Sonic fanbase. So I'm always ready to support one of these movies with my viewership just on that ground. And I'm not even a gamer, so I really can't count myself among the Sonic fanbase. I just appreciate when filmmakers respect their audience. In terms of what I actually think about those first two Sonic movies, I enjoyed them both enough. With Sonic the Hedgehog 3, instead of just making a cash-in threequel, they really reached for the stars. Yeah, I'm not a gamer, but I do know that song. It's got pretty much everything you've come to expect, the kinetic high-speed action with these cartoon critters duking it out, with, from what I've read, a lot of respect for the source material. It's got jokes that at times fall flat, but other times are very funny. In this case, the first and third acts have the biggest laughs. And some of this comes from more of Jim Carrey's antics as Dr. Robotnik, his full transformation into the villain from the games being complete now that he's fat. Carrey said he was considering retirement after Sonic 2, but he came back for this one because apparently he just really needed the money, and he's since said that power resting is the better term for the state of his career rather than retirement. He is literally working double time here. In addition to reprising as Dr. Robotnik, he's now also playing his grandfather, and I guess you could say he's got good chemistry with himself. I mean, I would assume that's just day-to-day life for Jim Carrey. Another thing you might expect from these movies that's also here is occasional moments of questionable logic. There's a scene where both Robotniks are in a hallway of laser beams, but since they have impenetrable suits on, they have a dance-off as they make their way to the other side. But I have to point out, their heads are totally exposed. Why aren't their heads getting diced up in this dance-off? Now, there are two things in particular that make this movie superior to its predecessors. One is that it's the best paced out of all of them. There was that whole section in Sonic 2 that shifted the focus toward the tertiary characters to a degree that almost ground that movie to a halt. A few sequences like that just wasted time. There's nothing to speak of along those lines in Sonic 3. It flies by at a breakneck speed that could give its lead character a run for his money. The climax maybe drags on a little bit, but never to the point of exhaustion. And the movie still allows plenty of time to breathe and to give a compelling backstory to Shadow, who is the other element that makes this the best of the three. It's funny, I could have sworn I heard the announcement that Shadow would be voiced by Hayden Christensen, and then I went into the movie to find out that his voice was Keanu Reeves, so one of Sonic's heroes.
Yes, Keanu! You are a national treasure.
When I find you.
Pop quiz, hotshot.
And Reeves is a really good casting choice for a really good antagonist. Shadow has had a history on Earth that is, relative to Sonic's, just more tragic. The movie dedicates the right amount of screen time to flashback sequences of Shadow's past, revealing his loneliness on Earth and how the one thing that mattered to him on this planet was just ripped away from him. So in his decades of confinement, all he could dwell on was revenge. His troubled past and Sonic's quest to stop him get across a surprisingly strong message for a family movie of not becoming so overcome with vengeance that you lose yourself. Although during the third act, I'll just say there's a character who goes into critical condition, and the fact that he doesn't die is a slight disservice to the message. And you see it coming, you know this character is going to be okay. The message would have stood even taller if the movie had had the guts to actually kill him off, but instead it just plays that part safe. Still, it elevates this movie above being just a standard kids flick, and along with it you get enough colorful characters in action to be an enjoyable, fast-paced cinematic treat for families before school starts again. And I'm cool with seeing more, which the mid and after credits scenes do promise. Scoring on the Factor Facts, I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 3 a 69%. I want to mention one spoiler here. There was kind of a missed opportunity during the climax. When Sonic and Shadow end up on the moon, the satellite they need to get to should have been on the opposite side of Earth, so they need to move faster than they ever have before, and to do this, they use lunar gravity to give themselves the extra boost and slingshot themselves right over there. Wouldn't that have been awesome? That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.